The year was 2015. I sat surrounded by planners, sticky notes, and to-do lists that stretched into oblivion. My goals for that year filled 3 pages. Learn Spanish, read 50 books, start a side business, get promoted, lose 20 pounds, meditate daily, rebuild my social circle, renovate my apartment. The collection represented my ambition, my drive, but something was off. By March, I had accomplished exactly none of them. Not even meaningful progress on a single one. This might sound familiar to you. We're taught from an early age that success comes to those who aim high. Set your sights on the stars, and even if you miss, you'll hit the moon, or something equally inspirational. What if that advice is precisely what's keeping you from the results you want? A curious pattern emerges when we look at truly successful people. Warren Buffett, one of the world's wealthiest individuals, famously asked his pilot to write down 25 career goals. Then he instructed him to circle only the top 5 and avoid the remaining 20 at all costs. Not just postpone them, consider them dangerous distractions. The most successful people don't chase everything. They chase almost nothing. This counterintuitive approach clashes with our cultural programming. From social medias, hustle culture, to corporate environments that celebrate multitasking, we're conditioned to believe more goals equal more success. Yet psychological research consistently shows the opposite. Our brains operate with finite attentional resources. When we fragment our focus across numerous objectives, we activate what psychologists call goal competition. Your goals begin fighting each other for your limited mental bandwidth. Think about your daily mental space as a theater stage. Each goal you set demands a role in the performance. With 2 or 3 actors on stage, you can follow the plot. With 20 actors shouting their lines simultaneously, you get chaos, not a breakthrough performance. Greg McKeown, author of Essentialism, puts it plainly. When we have clarity about our purpose, everything unnecessary falls away. I learned this lesson the hard way. After my goal-setting failure, I simplified drastically. I reduced 20 goals to just 1, write every day. Not publish a bestseller, not become famous, just show up at the keyboard daily. Within 6 months, I had completed the first draft of a novel, something that had eluded me for years despite being on every annual goal list. The power of constraint works because of several psychological principles. Decision fatigue diminishes when you have fewer choices. Research by psychologist Roy Baumeister demonstrates that making decisions depletes our mental energy. Each goal you maintain requires hundreds of micro-decisions. Single-tasking produces higher quality output than multitasking. Despite the cultural myth, our brains cannot truly multitask complex activities. What feels like multitasking is actually rapid task switching, which neuroscience shows reduces cognitive performance by up to 40%. The Zeigarnik effect keeps uncompleted tasks actively consuming mental resources. Psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik discovered that unfinished goals continue to occupy our thoughts until completed. Multiple goals mean multiple mental burdens. This doesn't mean you should abandon ambition. Rather, it suggests a different approach to achievement, sequential rather than simultaneous growth. The painter Pablo Picasso didn't simultaneously invent Cubism while mastering classical techniques and building his sculpture portfolio. He moved through distinctive periods, focusing deeply on specific approaches before moving to the next. What would happen if you approached your life with similar focus? James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, explains why less is more through the concept of decision density. The fewer decisions you need to make about what to work on, the more mental energy remains for actual work. Here's where this becomes practical for you. Identify what Cal Newport calls your lead domino, the one goal that makes other goals easier or unnecessary. For example, establishing a consistent exercise routine might naturally improve your sleep, focus, and mood without directly targeting those areas. Commit to this priority for at least 90 days. Our cultural obsession with quick results undermines deep progress. Real transformation requires sustained attention. Create environmental triggers that reduce friction for your priority while increasing friction for distractions. Want to read more? Place books on your pillow each morning. Want to check social media less? Delete apps and use browser versions with time-consuming login procedures. This approach requires courage. Saying yes to one priority means saying no to many good options. The fear of missing out can be powerful. But consider the alternative, the certainty of missing out on depth by pursuing breadth. Ancient Stoic philosophy anticipated modern psychology on this point. Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." 2,000 years before digital distraction, he recognized the danger of divided attention. My own journey toward fewer goals hasn't been linear. I still occasionally fall into the trap of overcommitment. But I've developed a personal test for potential new goals. Will this complement my current priority, or compete with it? If it's competition, it waits. The irony of constraint is that it creates freedom. By narrowing my focus, more energy became available for deep engagement. The quality of my work improved. Opportunities I never directly pursued emerged naturally from the depth of my commitment to fewer things. This approach carries a risk. What if you choose the wrong priority? This fear keeps many people in a perpetual state of goal diffusion. The truth is that concentrated effort on almost any worthwhile goal produces more results than scattered attention across many. The mathematician John von Neumann noted that in complicated situations, the best approach is often to make any reasonable decision and apply full commitment rather than searching endlessly for the optimal choice. Your turn now. Look at your current list of ambitions. Which one, if accomplished, would have the greatest positive impact on your life? Which one, if focused on exclusively, might naturally lead to progress in other areas? That becomes your priority. Everything else goes on a "not now" list. Not rejected, just scheduled for a future season of your life. The results might surprise you. When you narrow your focus, you often expand your impact. In a world that profits from your fragmented attention, the discipline to pursue less becomes your competitive advantage. The most successful people aren't those with the most goals. They're the ones who understand that meaningful achievement comes from the courage to pursue the vital few rather than the trivial many. Less becomes more. Focus becomes freedom. And one goal, properly chosen and pursued, can change everything.